How do we define thinking?
There's a beautiful quote in one of the author's other texts, and he says, "Thinking is conscious thought force, not mere mental indulgence when the mind flows on its own towards an object." And this is a really good example. We always use it because it's so available to all of us. You meet someone for the first time that you have a crush on, right? And you just sit there thinking about that person. So we use that term thinking to describe that experience of the mind just sort of running towards that experience. And this is not thinking. This is the mind indiscriminately running towards an object that it wants to experience. Thinking is conscious thought force. Thinking implies that you have a systematic linking of discrimination through known channels of cause and effect. So you are already convinced of certain cause-effect relationships, conceptual cause-effect relationships. Thinking then advances through one cause-effect relationship from one idea or state or conviction or conclusion to the next. And it's conscious thought force. It's what you might call intellectual effort. So it is a conscious effort. So you know what you are thinking about, and you know why you are thinking about it. This is one of the aspects of what you call metacognition. Thinking implies metacognition. If you don't know why you're thinking about something, then it's not proper thinking. Why are you entertaining that thought flow? Oh, I don't know. It appeared in my mind and I just sort of went with it. It feels like thinking to me, but if I haven't got a reasonable understanding of the reason that I am engaging in this thought flow, it's not thinking. So you understand the end point. You don't know the end point yet, but thinking is always aimed at arriving at some conclusion so that you can advance your knowledge. The purpose of thinking is to eradicate ignorance, to arrive at a conclusion. So the context is all important, and that's known by the intellect. The other aspect of thinking, which I've only ever heard my teacher say this once in 8 years of being at the academy. Someone actually asked him, what's the definition of correct thinking? And he said, you know your thinking is correct when you know that it's not correct. Basically what he's saying is, if you are objective enough to know that whatever I'm thinking at the moment, my intellect is limited and there's probably a better way to think about it, but this is where I am right now. This is the conclusion that I'm drawing right now, but I'm always open to having this thought flow or this chain of reasoning corrected, my error shown to me, then your thinking is correct. The moment we lose that humility, that recognition of our own fallibility in our thinking, it's not thinking. Then it's tending towards a fanatic attachment to a concept or an ideology. So these are the aspects. You know what you're trying to achieve with your thinking. You're clear that it's a reasonable thing to be thinking about, and you know that as good as my thinking is now, it can be better still. And it's conscious thought forced towards a goal. The thing that thinks, if we want to use that term, is the intellect. And the basic function of the intellect is discrimination. So thinking proceeds via discrimination through established channels of cause and effect to arrive at a conclusion that is irrefutable to you, while at the same time knowing that my conclusion could be incorrect.